creativity comes from people. It's a part of your soul. It's about being courageous. It's about being brave. Showcasing a tiny piece of your soul and putting it out there for people to share, enjoy the moment, be in the present.
Es difícil definir la creatividad en pocas palabras, ¿no? Pero yo diría que es una gran búsqueda de expresión, que es la chispa para llegar a la excelencia. Es una forma de ver la vida, de ser creativo.
Where's the place that dreams come true? Where's the place that people go from lows to immense highs, fueled by only what's in their head? People have a dream. They want to be able to realise that dream. How they do that is they're going to go to the most alive city in the world. It's going to be in New York. It's going to be in New York. How do you distill the most alive city in the world into a bottle of whiskey?
Nueva York probablemente es el reto más grande por la dificultad, por la diversidad, por la complejidad de una ciudad que probablemente tiene muchas identidades en una. Es una ciudad que cambia, se transforma, desprende una energía maravillosa, ¿no? Que hace que tengamos un reto muy difícil, el hecho de trasladar todas esas vivencias a un menú y a un whisky, ¿no?
Distilling the entire essence of a city into one bottle is going to take the biggest level of creativity. It's going to, I think, push every single boundary that I've ever found as a whiskey maker. I really hope we get to see as much of New York, of all of its faces, to then pull it back and distill the essence of the city and see where we go from there.
Exactamente. Vamos a ver qué pasa, vamos a ver qué sale.
It is my first trip to New York City and it is amazing. When you're walking along the streets, my eye keeps being drawn upwards because there's these amazing buildings that are reaching for the sky.
El hombre ha sido capaz de hacer esto, ¿no? Es una ciudad maravillosa, increíble, hay inteligencia, talento, trabajo, esfuerzo puesto en construir un lugar de convivencia. La ciudad es un lugar de convivencia. Pero es espectacular, ¿no? Cómo está hecho y de qué manera se han construido, ¿no? Esos edificios. Cuando ves una ciudad así, vuelves a confiar en la humanidad y piensas, tenemos que ser capaces de resolver las diferencias que todavía hay.
Honestly, having grown up looking at American movies, seeing the Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building, you know, having seen these absolutely iconic buildings. And then to be here, it's honestly, I hoped it was true, but I didn't think it could be because you see it in the movies and you think, oh, it can't be like this. And it is. I don't think you could drive in New York without a horn. It's not an angry honk, honk, honk. It's, let's keep going. Keep it going. The city is alive. And then you see things like the steam coming out of a manhole. Everything is tangible. Everything's just pointing upwards to the sky. And that's kind of like the feeling. It's so positive. It's reinvention, creativity, how to express yourself, but always in a positive, uplifting manner.
Hi,
Welcome to the Guggenheim to New York. I'm Megan Funton, I'm the curator here at the museum. The building opened in 1959, but our story really goes farther back to the late 1920s when we were one person's private collection. We really started as this idiosyncratic, quirky collection, and then grew into this international presence. One of our greatest collection treasures is this building. It is a place like none other.
Piece of art. The building
Absolutely.
is a piece of art. Era una visita pendiente precisamente, estar en el Guggenheim de Nueva York y poder estar en un edificio que en sí mismo es una obra de arte, que alberga ese inicio del arte abstracto y que está ahí como si el tiempo no hubiera pasado, es vigente.
So we currently have on view here in the Rotunda an exhibition of Vasily Kandinsky, so that's what I'll take you through. We have over 150 works in our holdings by this one artist alone. And it really set the stage for this commitment to contemporary art. That was the art of the time, the art of the 1920s, the 1930s. Today we continue to collect into the present to really lift people up, celebrate contemporary practices, and as you're looking for, provide some inspiration.
Definitely.
So there's a lot to see.
New York City is like that. You think you know it, and then you start walking the streets and you discover different neighborhoods, new restaurants pop up, and it's suddenly the city is transformed yet again. And there's so many different languages and cultures that are layered, and so much of Kandinsky's work was about that layering.
It's all about the journey.
100%.
And Kandinsky, in those years, to think about 1913, it was a time of innovation and creativity and so many artists who were experimenting with abstraction or abstracted forms, daring, radicality, all those words that we kind of associate with those years of the early 1910s. And Kandinsky was right in the center. He was of those artists who was really not bound, by the constrictions of his time, by
Brave and
traditional.
bold.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Not afraid to kind of jump off the cliff, right?
Nueva York es una ciudad de contrastes donde puedes ver a Kandinsky en el Museo Guggenheim y puedes ver arte en las calles, en los muros. Todo representa algo, todo está lanzando un mensaje, todo está contándonos cosas. Probablemente es la ciudad que más culturas alberga y eso la hace única, la hace especial, la hace distinta.
I came to this country when I was 7 years old. I had to learn English and all of that. And the first subway train that I saw was, I think, when I was 12, when our school took us to the Bronx, and it was an elevated train. I'd never been on that. When the train pulled away, I could see amazing illustration, trees and people and colors. And I said, oh my God, these trains are amazing. When we were painting graffiti, and as teenagers, we were risking our lives painting the subway trains. Art for the love of creating. The same way that we need to breathe and walk and eat, we need to create. And nothing can stop us.
She is sassy. She is sassy. She is amazing. She just has this incredible power and passion within her that shines through. She's powerful, feisty. Feisty doesn't come close. What that lady has done.
We started as children inventing a new art form, just going out, painting for fun. And then we have inspired a global movement. It's called street art. You see it in every corner of the world in all kinds of mediums, from spray paint and paintbrush and glass. It's all there. So I hope you guys can find a little bit of life and energy in what we do. New York is full of many communities, different countries. It moves and flows. No matter what country you come from, you are exposed to so many others. You become, I guess, assimilated into America, multiracial.
Yeah.
Multiracial.
Sí, Nueva York quizás representa un poco esto, ¿no? Un lugar donde tenemos que buscar ese nexo de unión, esa convivencia necesaria para que la humanidad siga funcionando, ¿no?
Sí, claro. Latinos and African American and Asian people and Indians, and there are so many, and it is our part to inspire and to use our walls and our platform as a voice. I think that art is part of being human. We can trace back 40, 60,000 years of creativity, from little figurines to cave paintings, and we have a desire and a need to create art and become immortal. This is our babies, this is our creativity, and our purpose in life is to enrich human culture. Why humanity creates? For optimism. You know, we tried our best. We used our voice, our platform, for the better of humanity. The musicians, the artists, we're the loudest, reckless ones that will scream out and speak out. If you have the opportunity to change this world, make an impact, then do so.
How can we take this stuff that's not helping anyone and turn it into something that is part of a solution, part of changing people's minds? That's what sustainability, I think, will look like for more people in the future. This is trash that other people throw away, and we are able to sustain living off of it.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is a part of the ecosystem of sustainability in fashion, but it's possible to do this in any industry and with any trash. So when we cut out a piece, instead of throwing the rest away, we'll take those and start a new piece with it. So we'll make big pieces like this, and they're all a little bit different. Everyone comes out one of a kind. I mean, I can tell you, I bought this fabric in college. I got this one 2 weeks ago. So,
Really?
yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
So this piece is at least 15 years old.
I mean, what he does is just incredible. So he takes these tiny, like tiny scraps of material from other people's like cutting room floors and then makes clothes from it. The thing that's springing to my mind is layers and complexity.
Yeah, I mean, I think the patchwork is a beautiful metaphor because it is like New York in a way, you know, like New York is only New York because of all of the little things and people and businesses and restaurants that make it New York. Once I got here, I realized that this is, you know, really what everybody says it is. It's like a city where you come with a dream or a vision for yourself, and then everything suddenly becomes possible to you. And I was only like 25, and I knew that I had no money to shop. I had no money for new clothes. I didn't have a real career or a collection or clients or anything. So I just took one afternoon and I made myself a shirt. And I put that shirt on my Instagram, and I got double the engagement I had ever gotten. People asking, are you making these? How much? Are you doing menswear now? And I realized that by making things that I wanted, it was so much more relatable for other people. Instead of chasing this like runway dream or celebrity dream, just what do I want? And so I started knocking on doors at factories and cutting rooms, other designers that I knew. Can I have your trash? Can I take your scraps?
He came to New York with a dream, and he absolutely worked himself to the bone. He was one man with a sewing machine. He made the garments. He wore the garments. People went, that's cool.
And one day this guy came into my booth and was just talking to me forever. He bought a bunch of things, so I was a little more happy to talk. And he stopped me in the middle of the sentence and said, I just have to tell you, your clothing is alive. And 3 weeks later, he invested in my company and helped me open a store. And I was like, what's happening? You know, and suddenly you feel like you're not just hearing about New York, but you're living that like actual dream in New York, like pinch me.
Probablemente Nueva York sea un ejemplo, ¿no? de gente con fuerza, con resistencia y con mucha capacidad de resurgir. También en esa cultura anglosajona y especialmente americana, o probablemente sobre todo neoyorquina, ¿no? de aceptar que la vida no va a ser un camino fácil y que vas a caerte y que te vas a tener que levantar otra vez, ¿no?
We're very proud of our city. We love to share it, and what I've seen as a creative who came here with an idea, with a dream, with a vision, with a goal, is that people are willing to accept it if it's real, but you have to be yourself.
Todo puede suceder en Nueva York. Es una ciudad que cuando llegas, y Polly lo decía, llego por primera vez y parece que ha estado aquí, porque la he visto en las películas. Son imágenes que las tengo grabadas en la memoria. Es una ciudad amable, abierta, y la gente es muy próxima. La gente sonríe. Te cruzas la mirada y te sonríe. Estás pasando. Hay una energía en ese sentido que yo por lo menos he percibido y que me parece que Nueva York ha hecho un cambio se ha humanizado un poco. Tengo la sensación de que se ha humanizado un poco respecto a otras visitas anteriores.
Welcome to New York.
Thank you. I am feeling very welcome.
Yeah.
Very welcome, and I think that's,
And then you just don't say New York City. If you really want to say it, you say, welcome to New York.
New York.
New York. Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant. I'll practice.
The DNA of New York City is all about the people. It's all about what everyone brings to the table. So you're gonna hear all these amazing sounds, and the backdrop will always be just the din of the city. There's, the cars, the horns, people walking and talking, the music. You blend that all together. That serves as a good backdrop to the people, though. People bring and really make this New York City what it is. They are the lifeblood.
When you think of New York, what flavors come to mind for you?
I think there's a few ideas springing to my mind. I've certainly got everything has to be uplifting,
Okay,
inspiring,
right.
Fresh. Definitely some spice
Some
in there.
spice for sure. So it's amazing when you talk about food. Here we went from, Soho, and here we are entering, Little Italy, another food mecca.
Fresh
The
products.
area where
Okay.
Chinatown really begins, right here on Canal Street. Grapes to fruit.
Delicious.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, rambutan. Is that not? It's
Yeah.
a different thing, isn't it?
And you have your apples.
Oh yeah, apples. Look at them there.
There are your apples.
La sensación es de intentar captar sobre todo un producto extraordinario, viendo mercados, viendo comida en las calles que venden frutas, verduras, cada vez más del entorno de Nueva York, que hemos podido ver como, sí, siguen trayendo cosas de fuera, pero hay mucho producto del entorno y el producto del mar, que es fantástico, ¿no? Esos crustáceos, pescados, moluscos que hemos ido viendo y que siguen consumiendo aquí y que es un producto absolutamente maravilloso.
New York City is a walkable city, and people do travel a lot by foot. They get on the subway train, they take the city bus. They also jump in and out of cabs or Ubers or Lyfts, but they do walk a lot. And the best way to walk is to wear sneakers.
So, sneakers.
Sneakers.
How did that start?
It really started because of my parents playing
Okay.
tennis. Like, I got to watch them playing tennis, and they were wearing Rod Laver and Stan Smith sneakers. And just something about them just sparked that beginning thing.
He loves sneakers, and he has chosen to show his creativity and his love for life, his zest for life, through sneakers. I mean, how cool is that? Only in New York can you do that.
I grew up in the hip hop era. All that music for a period of time was coming out of New York City. And hip hop and rap lead right into sneakers. I mean, sneaker culture, you would go out on the streets of the city and you would see people wearing sneakers. I think sneakers, give us the opportunity to show off who we are and what we're about. I think especially in New York City, with there being so many people, we're talking 8 million plus people, how do we stand out in the crowd? We're able to do that with our sneakers. We're able to put our stakes down and say, I am D. Wells, you see me, you see what I'm wearing, I'm here, just like you're here. New York City is all about the people first, and I think everything else comes secondary, because then you have food, you have fashion, you have music, from bachata to calypso to hip hop, mixed in with jazz. They all blend together perfectly, and that's the soundtrack of New York.
No, until I actually played, woo, doo, 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 I didn't know I was gonna play that. People, we're creative. Human beings are creative. And where you have a lot of people and a lot of energy, and there's opportunity, great things will happen. Well, New York has been the mecca of the music for such a long time. And it goes all the way back to the original Dixieland Jazz Band left New Orleans and played in Midtown Manhattan, and that's where the jazz took off for them. Louis Armstrong went to Chicago, but then he came to New York. George Gershwin's concert in the 20s, that was here. Duke Ellington was in the Cotton Club, that was here. Count Basie's orchestra came from Kansas City. They came to New York City. All the radio orchestras, New York City. Radio City was in New York City. Benny Goodman left Chicago, came to New York. Duke Ellington's Carnegie Hall concerts, he came from Washington, came to New York City. Charlie Parker famously left Kansas City, came to New York. To John Coltrane, North Carolina, Philadelphia, New York City. Miles Davis, St. Louis, New York City. All the greatest clubs were here. A couple still around. Well, the Village Vanguard is still here. The reasons and the list go on and on because of the concentration of people and the intensity of the experiences and the presentness. This city is a distillation of all the creative energy that's not just in this country, but people come from all over the world to be here. And when you distill something, there's evaporation and condensation. You get run through a strainer. This is a strainer.
I think New York, with all of the people coming from around the world, they've all come together and created the foundations for this amazing explosion of creation.
Yeah.
New York is the lighter, the foundation is there, and they are the lighter for that big explosion of creativity that happens here.
It's the last day today in New York, and when you arrive in Scotland,
Yes.
what do you bring with you?
Optimism,
Yeah.
hope, a big challenge. What are you going to cook with? What produce are you going to use?
Well, I don't know. I need to think about this, but colors.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Vegetables, apples.
Apples,
absolutely.
definitely apples.
Yes.
The people, I think they're spicy. They're a little bit of spice. I have a lot of ideas, but I need to see if they're going to work. My job is leaving a legacy. These products that we make are a legacy, but still, they're about celebration, they're about life, they're about today. It's all about looking back, enjoying the moment, but looking forward as well, like a little echo of New York City. I've made a lot of notes, and all of them kind of come down to people. Resilience, history, legacy, feistiness, uplifting, power. I can't think of one word that encapsulates the whole thing other than overwhelming. But I've got to go and pick through it and find those little nuggets that are going to make an essence. How do you distill a city like New York in one whiskey. By coming and meeting people. Yeah.
Pisar la ciudad de nuevo, andar por ella, andar con personas que has conocido ahora y que pertenecen a mundos totalmente distintos al nuestro y que te hablan de su vida, de su mirada sobre la vida, de su mirada sobre Nueva York, sobre la ciudad en la que viven, te abre la mente y te la hace ver con ojos distintos. Dar de comer es algo muy, muy serio. Requiere de una gran responsabilidad por quien cocina y de una gran confianza por quien va a recibir ese plato preparado. Y en todo esto hay conocimiento vinculado a la responsabilidad, ganas de agradar. O sea, cocinar es una muestra de afecto por encima de todo. Francamente es un lujo poder dedicarnos a esto y poder hacerlo en familia con tus hermanos y poder compartir lo que compartimos, ¿no? Retos del día a día y retos complejos, como cuando Macallan te propone: ¿seréis capaces de hacer un menú inspirado en Nueva York? Yo soy un privilegiado porque he podido venir en representación suya, intentando captar todo esto. Voy a intentar transmitirlo. No va a ser fácil porque son muy exigentes y seguro que van a cuestionar muchas cosas, pero acabaremos haciendo juntos un trabajo maravilloso. Puedes ir 20 veces a Nueva York y la última vez descubres cosas nuevas. Es una ciudad muy, muy potente, muy poderosa, que además tiene mucha efervescencia creativa, mucho arte ahora especialmente. Entonces, bueno, sería bueno buscar de alguna forma a través del arte, ¿no? Como una línea que nos da libertad para crear y pensar. Hubo una puesta de sol de tonos naranjas muy bonitos que quizá nos podría servir de inspiración para reproducir el atardecer en Nueva York. Boniato, calabaza.
¿Habéis anotado huevo también con el sunset?
A nivel cromático puede ser muy interesante, pero a nivel de sabor todavía más. Este puede ser una línea. Gofres, cronuts, ostras, estaría bien.
Hay una gran cultura y una gran diversidad, es como un flujo de conocimiento de ostras.
Y los frutos secos también, que igual podríamos integrarlos. Cacahuetes, nueces.
¿Nueces?
Sí.
¿Y algo de carne?
Sí, hay un humo en todas partes de Nueva York, sobre todo en estos carritos del street food. Carne de vacuno, madurada, especiada, ahumada.
Y manzana, ¿no?
The Big Apple.
Big Apple, una manzana de postre, una Royal Gala de caramelo. Ok, pues entonces tenemos dos tapas, 3 platos y un postre, inspirado en Nueva York. ¿Ok?
Perfecto.
Venga, vamos.
Venga.
Gracias. Si quieres llegar rápido, ve solo. Pero si quieres llegar lejos, ve acompañado. Nosotros vamos juntos. Desde que empezó la historia, Joan Roca, desde los primeros años en que primero con Josep y luego con Jordi, vamos juntos. Y juntos hemos sido capaces de crear un mundo a nuestro alrededor que tiene que ver con compromiso, con esfuerzo, con trabajo, con capacidad de compartir, con capacidad de asumir retos. Podemos hacer un ketchup.
¿Ketchup?
Casero.
¿Ácido, salado?
Dulce.
Dulce. Ketchup
Ácido,
dulce.
salado y picante un poco. Es fantástico porque te llena de energía a ti, justifica toda la energía, todo el trabajo, todas las horas que hemos puesto ahí y hace que tu vida tenga sentido también. La pasión hace que todo fluya, que alimentes el conocimiento necesario para llegar a donde quieres llegar. Sin pasión no hay nada.
It's just incredible the work that they do. This constant evolution of making it better, changing it. What can I do with this? Let's look at that. Using them as an inspiration, but in an amazing position where we are in partnership with them. We can feed off one another. It's pushing those boundaries together. It's just an amazing relationship and an amazing symbiosis, producing the best things that we can possibly produce.
El reto de hacer un whisky, el reto de pensar un menú, es una forma de creatividad pura, ¿no? Es una manera maravillosa de rendir un tributo a una ciudad que nos fascina. En el fondo es lo que estamos haciendo, un pequeño homenaje o un gran homenaje, porque habrá mucho trabajo y mucha energía puesta detrás a la ciudad de Nueva York.